It says streaming. Let me mute my other tabs.
In this bitch.
We
ain't got an intro tonight. We ain't said who was going live.
Nah, we just. Well, hold on. I don't see the shit yet. Hold up. Oh, it's streaming.
I got a notification.
You see it on YouTube? All right. We in there.
I just got a notification to it.
All right, yo. All right, we streaming. Just hey, we out there. Don't let us help us on the sound. You got some background stuff going on there.
Man, you know the kids just came in here as soon as we got live too, man. You know how they do. They must have thought the goddamn live button go off. What up, though?
Wednesday, 0.5 live, episode 74.5. This Saturday, last episode of the season. Season 3 is wrapped. Then we go into a whole new season. Appreciate you guys. We started a little late. Technical difficulties. We're gonna try to jump straight to this video. You want to set up the video?
We're doing a reaction today. Yeah, we're doing a reaction today. We're doing one on what is this? The title is Interracial Dating. Dr. Umar, my man Nick Cannon. So it should be an exciting one. Something different. Me and Frank stand on two different sides of the aisle. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure. I guess you can say that. I don't really see the issue, but yeah, we can jump into it. I don't even know if you can't say an aisle. There's not I don't feel like there's an aisle. You feel like there's an aisle there.
No, we're on different sides of the aisle. No,
I'm not
Frank. There is an aisle. I'm saying I'm with Umar. You with Nick. It's clear, but it's all right.
I don't even know what Nick said. Well, okay, I can listen. What did Nick say? I don't even know.
Nick said what you say. Ain't no issue. I said there is an issue.
Okay, all right. Let's run it.
Dr. Umar Johnson. Man, we've been going viral. We had some heated conversations, some discourse, but I feel like they're all healthy.
Yes.
And we left off in the last session with me asking the question, and it's even the reason why I created council culture, because I want to be accountable. I want to be held accountable for everything from the community, from individuals, and I'm a true example of somebody who has been canceled many times. For things I've said, for things I've done, for opinions that I've had, things that I've pontificated.
Hey, hold on, let me pause. Hey, let us know in the comments if you can't hear us or you can't hear the video. Don't let us go out looking like schmucks, fucking this shit up. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm attempting to not just get out here on my soapbox and say this is what I know. As we know, we're both avid readers. We're both people probably educated at certain levels on many different topics. And I've made the mistake in the past to often.
Now I did see this part.
Regurgitate things.
He spends like 5 minutes
without doing the proper research. And we talked about this in the last session. Like the responsible
talking bad about himself
being able to just
reason.
say different things because we heard someone else.
Yes, sir.
So for council culture,
no, because he knows time. This is why
creating safe spaces.
He shouldn't apologize for nothing. I mean, apologize for
and learn,
marrying or
and
having
more
12 kids.
learn
for sure.
to heal.
That's
so
insane.
I left off at the end last session and starting off this session.
That's a whole other conversation.
Asking a professional,
12 babies,
a doctor of clinical psychology.
Egregious.
Do you feel I'm irresponsible?
No, it ain't. If you can afford them, no, it ain't.
A black man with
the family though. The family structure is the problem. The non-family structure.
A super father, or some people even could say someone who has created many broken homes. I have 12 children.
Okay.
How many baby mamas?
I
6.
Am an open and
at least 10
free-spirited individual who, like we talked about before, feel
9
everyone
broken
has
homes.
the ability to live their life in which way that they
wish. He prefaced like
no judgment on anyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I entertain, and in that same form, I've created shows like Wildin' Out to various different shows to Bad versus Wild with Zeus and all type of things where I've been ridiculed.
We know you nigga.
People often, irresponsible is light in what they've called me online.
I hope we get some meat before we got to cut this off.
If there is a place, if there is a place that I've been responsible, because as we know, Malcolm X probably said it the best that the media is the most powerful tool on the planet because
that's true.
It can have you loving your oppressor and hating the oppressed.
What you trying to say, Nick?
But me knowing that, and me knowing that media is really just an acronym for manipulated entertainment designed to influence all, I'm trying to
just
do
doing a mic check real quick. Mic check. Let us know if we're coming in clear.
Council culture, but I gotta hold myself accountable. So as I sit here before you as a man who I've heard many times say that we should not, lightly say that we should not date outside our race. You made many more colorful
himself
statements
before the attack.
Ask the question,
idea,
bro.
You know, going skiing with the snow bunnies and many other terms. But you know, I do have children with multiple races of women, and you know, white being one of them.
At some point, there's gonna be a question.
I'm interested to know one how you feel about this, and then you know, as I sit next
should we
to you, you know,
should we talk about how we feel first before they jump in? I don't feel like race, bro. I don't.
Let's talk about how we feel before it's over. See, I knew he was on the fence. I knew he was on the side.
It don't matter to me.
Go ahead.
It don't matter to me. Like, all right, let's see what he gonna say. You know, Dr. Umar goes in.
I consider you my brother. I consider you someone that I admire and look up to in many different ways. But you know, sometimes we agree to disagree on various. But this is a safe space.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Nick. Get on with it.
I say all that to say, you know, as someone, I'm sitting on your couch today.
He know he about to get it.
Heal me, help me.
Right. When we deal with interracial relationships, I always like to qualify the conversation for people who are listening, especially those outside the community, so that they understand I don't come from a place of hate. I have nothing against the Caucasian woman, Asian woman, Latina woman, East Indian, Arab, all
I respect that.
Various beautiful women of the world. I have nothing against them. But I'm loyal to the black woman because she suffered the most
I agree, 1,000%.
at the hands of this society 100%. And this planet. And because I come from a black woman, I have a special obligation towards her. And when I look at when our successful black men tend to marry out or reproduce outside of the community, I think on some level it can be insulting to our sisters.
Okay.
I consider it insulting to the community as a whole. And as someone who works in the school, I've had to entertain conversations with black girls who are asking Dr. Umar, is there something wrong with me? Because it appears that when you all make it, y'all always abandon the community in pursuit
Is it always defined
of your
always?
spouse.
Because I don't think it's always.
And when we look at
always.
Okay.
wealth
Always. There's no successful black men that marry black women. You can't say that.
He's not saying that. He's saying the top one. He said the top 1% of 1% don't marry black. I got 3 off top right now. Don Peoples, Byron Allen, Robert Smith. 3 of the richest black. We'll take one more. We'll add Kanye in there. 4 of the richest black dudes in America. What they got? Not a black woman. What you got to say to that?
Okay, you just picked 3 people that we know. I'm saying you can't say always.
3 of the richest people that you know.
Yes, that you know. How many rich people that you don't know?
90% is a high always frame. Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. What about Nick Cannon?
Play the video.
He
one of the top percent. And he
not
got
married
one
to nobody.
dark woman out of 9.
He's just making babies. I don't think he counts. I don't think he counts in this conversation because he's not marrying nobody. He's just fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Differential between successful black men and the women they choose to marry or reproduce with. It's very obvious that there is a significant financial gain to the woman in many times, which equals a significant financial loss to the black community.
I've heard you say this many times. That's a very small percentage of the group of overall interracial dating. Because there's only so many successful black men at that level that can elevate and create generational wealth. Because if we keep it a stacked up, the most interracial relationships we see, because I've heard you say this before, the most interracial relationships we see is a strong, handsome black brother with shapely
Right.
white woman
Right.
that's
But
happy to God.
he's equally
trying to be
politically correct.
as clear as possible.
Right.
But it's a black man that can have any woman he wants, but because he can put his car in her name and he can financially gain off of this white woman who looked like she had a couple of Taco Bell trips.
Right. Okay. I feel like I lose brain cells.
She's
bro,
happy
listen to
that she got her a good black man.
My brain, I'm losing brain
Those
cells.
are the questions of why these young black girls like, why would you choose
you ain't
her
to be open.
and not me? Because
Or
she
you
got
put your
the
fist up
paper.
already.
Right. But either way.
And that's the majority. Now you see the athletes or the entertainers that might get them a.
But that's because there's only a few of you at that upper echelon.
Right.
But for those of you who are at the top 1%, right, income bracket, y'all go out the community to marry more than men similarly placed in their community.
That's such a small percentage, though.
Right, but black men marry outside of their race more than every other group of men per capita.
And I'm not making this as an excuse or an example.
No, not at all. But I'm saying that can't.
He keep cutting them off.
I mean, Nick,
It is a fact.
That's Nick's show. I mean, he gonna cut him off. He could do that. But this is the thing. When you hear stuff like this, and somebody and anybody, any side, black, white, whatever, left, right, when they start spitting stats or statistics, you can't just take it because he said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of person like, okay, if you said this, I want to go look that shit up, make sure. You know what I'm saying? Because like anybody could be in a conversation and spit out statistics, and then you could sound like you know what you're talking about.
He'll tell you go fact check them. He'll tell you go fact check them. But I mean,
yeah,
when Umar be spitting stuff like that, 9 times out of 10, he's probably on the side of right. You know what I'm talking about?
He says he's funny though. He's funny as fuck when he talks about snow bunnies and all that. But I think he's radical. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's a little radical.
What's wrong with being radical? What's wrong with being radical?
The definition of radical is you far gone. Like a radical is like wherever you are ideologically. If you're radical, you on the worst or you on the most extreme side of that. You know what I'm saying? That's what a radical is. Now, being for your people, that's cool. You know, sticking up for your people, no, nothing wrong with that. But like, you know, talking about someone else who marrying outside of their race or whatever, like, why is it your business? Like who they fall in love with or who they want to love? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's not talking about your personal preferences of who you love. He's talking about your obligation to your race and your community. You know what I'm talking about? He's talking about if you are a black woman and you believe in pro-blackness and you believe in the struggle, and you believe in wealth creation, you believe in unification, right? Why would you go and take yourself and your resources to the other side? That's what I think he's saying.
What's the other side? What's this other side? Why they gotta be side?
Not black, not your race.
So any other race.
I can't even say the word.
What word?
Yeah, but again, and then also, how is that weird? But when they do it, it's not weird, right? Because when you see them, when you see it, the other side. Oh, here you go with the semantics. You know who they are, though. Don't do me like that.
It's not. I'm not doing you like anything. you choosing pronouns and you got to define who we're talking about. You got your favorite thing to say. Races, the other side.
Indians.
So anybody white, but black is the other side.
Australians, European. Yes, when you see them marry black or bring a black person home, the parents aren't the happiest. There's always something wrong with it.
Do you know that?
It's always
in every
even look
instance? I mean, I'm sure that's true, but not.
We're talking majority.
You can't say that. How do you know that's a majority? We in 2024, bro. How can you say with a majority?
From the propaganda that I've seen,
you just called it.
We watch enough TV shows.
Propaganda.
That's the only experience I got. I don't know any Indian people. I don't know any. I barely know white people. I don't know any other races, right? But I do know when I see it, they be upset. And you've seen it from white people all the time. Every time they get a black person home.
I've seen it, but
relationship.
Okay, but there's a difference though. I know it exists. I know I've seen it, but I feel like you know me. I'm an optimist. I personally don't feel it's the majority. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where we differ. Like where you say they do it or they feel a certain type of way, you feel like it's majority, and I feel like it's not a majority. I feel like it's a smaller number
Hey Frank, there are coaches out there who disown their child. There's coaches who cut their child off.
That's correct.
Go as far as even trying to discriminate against the grandchild.
That's correct.
For having and not just because they're having it outside their race, right? I don't know if the Chinese do it because they got a white person or Indian do it because they got a white person.
Their culture.
But we've seen instances,
right?
It's
their culture, yeah.
Right. If they do it with the black person, it's the most egregious. You know what I'm talking about? It's the most egregious act you could probably do. But when we do it, it's not a problem. We should be open-minded and go expand. But why not keep it in the house? We can watch some more of this video or what, man? Because
we better run out of time, so we got like 10 minutes left. We're gonna have to like cut this up in like several parts.
That cannot be attributed purely to coincidence. So let me ask you a question directly, Brother Nick. You have beautiful African children by beautiful non-African women.
Right.
Would you say, honestly, your decision to reproduce with non-African women, was that deliberate? I don't want my sisters? Or were you a victim of unconscious self-hate programming?
Now, I've had this conversation on another one of my...
Bro, I'm gonna call out bullshit when I see it. I did this before with the rabbi. So you see how he asked the question? He gave him two scenarios and both were shitty. Right? It was you unconsciously don't. Well, the second one was you unconsciously don't like black women. And what he said for the first one?
Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna go back. Because when you ask a question and you frame it a certain way to where no matter how you give a response is a shitty response or lose to something, that it's you can't ask questions like that. It's not an open-ended question. He steered them in a certain direction.
So you're saying like Donald Trump versus Biden, who you want to pick? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's about when you ask a question and the two choices that you provide, right? You kind of steering the answer. You're not. It's not an open-ended question where you ask a question and you wait for a response. You ask a question. You give them two choices. What was the first
part of the question there? Run it back a second.
Hopefully I don't go too much.
Or were you a victim?
Right, he calls it a victim. Hold up.
Your decision to reproduce with non-African women, was that deliberate? I don't want my sisters? Or were you a victim?
There it is. See? There it is. The two choices are, was it deliberate, you don't want black women, or are you a victim of subconscious programming? Those two choices, that's not how you ask a question. What's wrong with that question? I just told you. He's fishing for a specific response, and he told them, your two choices are, you don't want black women, or you subconsciously were programmed to not like black women. Those you can't ask a question and steer somebody into two negatives. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what happened here. And so to me it was either saying, hey, do you not like black women, or do you think you are programmed to not like black women? That's an ill-intended question. A proper question would be, why did you choose? Here it is. Why did you choose the women you chose? And don't input anything about not liking black women, or don't put anything about being a victim of subconscious programming.
That's the conversation, though. But that's the conversation. The conversation
He's
interracial dating.
He's steering it into he's taking control of the conversation. That's what he's doing. But let's see what Nick said.
Of unconscious.
But this is,
Go ahead. You got to catch these things. These things are like conversations. Go ahead.
But the conversation, that's part of being a great conversationalist. We're having a decent dialogue about said topic.
Right. I agree.
If he left it open, it could have went anywhere, and Nick wouldn't have got an answer Umar was looking for, or a quality answer that he was relating to the topic.
So, like I said, he gave him two choices. One was you deliberately chose not to choose black women, or the other one was you're a victim of subconscious programming. So either way he goes, he's an asshole and he's doing something wrong. You don't actually, when you ask a question, you can't. He framed it perfectly. I'm telling you, this is semantics. This is psychology. This dude is a doctor. He's a psychologist. He knows what the fuck he's doing. I'm not saying he's wrong, but when he asks a question a certain way, he's fishing for.
You said he was wrong.
He's wrong in how he asked his question.
self-hate programming.
And I've had this conversation on another one of my platforms with.
And Nick's not a dumb dude either, so don't do
that. And it's funny because online they cut it up.
Islam
They made it seem like I was saying.
And I didn't see that clip, by the way.
Yeah, it was a clip where it pretty much was. I was saying exactly that we've been programmed and conditioned to be that the white woman is superior. That's and I made all the statements that there was a time that and obviously all the sisters came from me because they just saw that element of the clip. There was a time in which white women were looked at as
the standard.
Not just the standard, but symbols of success.
True.
And or even that are unattainable. If we go all the way back to slavery,
forbidden fruit.
We not supposed, and vice versa.
Okay.
They looked at us like we ain't supposed to be messing with them, and we was looking at we are not allowed. We can die. If we mess
But see,
with
that's
them.
the difference.
Yeah.
You could die messing with them. They're not going to die messing with you, though.
So I say all of that to say I understand the social programming, and I truly believe it so. And then that makes me, as someone who's done the research and had the understanding, goes all the way back to even defining what is race and when was race defined. And as we know.
But before you define that, does Nick Cannon have a bias against black women when it comes to romance?
The quick answer is absolutely not. Because
how do you justify?
I say this because
Let him finish.
I got a white baby mama. I got a dark skinned baby mama too. So in that sense, I can equally say I ain't got no type. You know what I mean? Like I love.
But I would push back because
answer.
As a successful black man,
that's a perfect answer. I see nothing wrong with that answer.
Listen,
because that's how I feel.
That's
personally.
fine. But listen, let Umar finish. Let Umar finish.
Children with multiple women,
and then we'll talk.
For almost none of them, or let me take the positive, only one of them being of African descent, does that not suggest that you clearly search out those who are not of your racial group?
So that's why I had to go here first, and we're gonna. I don't want to get too deep. I want to talk over anyone.
Absolutely.
A phenotype.
So did you get what Umar saying? If you got 12 bras prego, and only one of them is dark, black, African descent, you clearly, of all your rainbow of fruitage, are deliberately not picking the darker ones. It's evident. It's clear. There's a pattern. That's habitual behavior.
So this is how I would debunk this. And I don't know if we can get this information. Maybe we can. We need to break down of all the 9 women or however many women he got pregnant, all their races. Now, if it's 1 black and then 8 white, I would agree. I would agree to what you're saying. But if it's like they're mixed and it's like ubiquitous, you know what I'm saying? And it's like maybe 2 white girls and the rest are mixed with a bunch of other shit, which I think he got some Spanish in there. He probably got an Asian and maybe a Middle Eastern or something. It's probably not, it's not lopsided to where, you know, it's mostly white and then 1 black. It's probably a mix of the racial spectrum that's on this planet. So then to call out the black woman and say, oh, you don't like black women because you got 1 black woman, but he has all this other mix of races, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what that's the thing the black girls would say. Like when dudes don't pick black girls and they try to find the Spanish, the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, the lighter skinned black people or white, you know what I'm talking about? They not talking to the black girls. You know what I'm talking about? There's a difference. And I don't want to call it colorism, but that's what it is, right? The other 9 or 8 girls aren't as dark as her. And it's Do we know that for a fact? I mean, we can look up. Let's look up Nick.
Yeah, you can look them up. You can Google them. They up here.
We're gonna run
all
time,
of them are.
Nick
we got 5 more minutes. That's fine.
Nick Cannon's baby mamas. I don't know.
I got it pulled up, right? So you can Google the images.
Oh, we got a picture.
Everybody pretty fairly light besides the 1. Yeah.
You know, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans, they all come in all colors, right? They're not just light skin or white skin, but
the ones he picked aren't dark skinned, Frank. You missed them. Don't jump rope over the point.
I'm not jump roping. We see things differently, bro. I'm not a colorist. I don't judge by skin color. It's not. It's really not. I'm trying to find a picture.
And I get it.
I mean, I'm finding a bunch of stuff. So look, I'll move this over. I'm assuming this is not the dark one. She's definitely not white, right?
No.
She's brown. Okay.
No.
She could be
dark.
mixed. She could
you
be
can't
black.
Even find a dark one.
She could. I mean, I just googled Nick Cannon's baby mama.
That's still on point to. That's still on point to not the dark skin.
Is this
black
this the one?
Right. That's her. Yeah.
Okay. She's a gorgeous woman.
She's the darkest one of them all.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently she definitely is. And all his baby mamas are pretty, right?
Of course.
The skin tone. When we just talk about the skin tone. Skin tones are clearly different, right? So he got one chocolate girl, then he got strawberry vanillas. You know what I mean? So that's all. That's all Umar was trying to say. That's all he was trying to say. It's a pattern. It's a visual pattern, and you just seen it for yourself. You got to agree with it. You got 3 more minutes.
There's not. I mean, maybe you're not hearing what I'm saying. All right, let's continue. I don't know. Wait, it's not playing.
Because in that sense, when I'm talking about the origin of race, because before there was race, there was phenotypes. And really that's just based off of what we look like.
Okay.
So in that sense, to where I guess what the German doctor in whatever, 1700s, Dr. Johann Friedrich Blumenbach was the dude, the psychologist who said, who created race.
Okay.
Who hit, I think it was 7 identities, and it was everything from African to Ethiopian to white, to where they could put this hierarchy system that white was on top, therefore that they could classify while everyone else was subdominant. So in that, before that infrastructure was created, and that was even during, slavery had already been established here, you know, in America before the term race was created.
Okay.
So it was phenotype in what we look like and origin in which we came from.
Okay.
And as a Pan-African, I know you understand the ideas that even with, we've been there, even within the motherland, even in the continent, there's a hierarchy of complexionism. And there's and sometimes even
introduced by the oppressor.
Of course, it's colonization, and even and then now in the terms of
Omar.
I've gotten in trouble for this, talking about the power of melanin. In the sense of, as Tupac say, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
I would agree.
And in that sense, so yes, like I said before, there is an idea of the standard of what we believe to be beautiful. I believe a dark complected woman who embraces all of her naturalness is far superior, especially in this day,
oxymoron,
and in her beauty, than someone who
he's
is
talking,
attempting to.
You're gonna say he's an oxymoron because he got one dark girl out of 10?
But he just sat here and said he thinks the black girl is more superior. If that's the case, you would have at least 2 baby mamas out of the 10.
I think this. So you know what this reminds me of, like when you
What's up?
when people pocket count or counting someone else's pockets, like are we pocket watching, right? Like you watching what they buying, you pocket watching whatever. Why are we? I be honest, me as an outsider in this situation, I'm not looking at Nick Cannon as he did anything wrong. I think the one thing he did wrong is all the baby moms that he's creating and the children he's creating, broken homes, like he said. But I'm not going to look at his women that he's reproduced with, his selection, and nitpick and be like, oh, you only got one dark girl. You know what I'm saying? To me, that is something that my mind can't wrap my head around it and look for fault. You know what I'm saying? He could have had, I know it's a mix of races in there. You know what I'm saying? So like, I can't be like, oh, he whatever. He's a certain type of way because he chose one dark skinned girl. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's an unnecessary observation to make, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think with this mindset of colorism, I guess, so to speak. That's me though. It's just,
and I think the conversation just interracial dating, right? So that's kind of how the conversation itself is interracial dating, and I don't think he nitpicking. He just stating the fact, right? He just pointing out some obvious, and ain't nothing wrong with it because if a man is choosing to have all these babies outside of wedlock or having this many broken homes, right? Me and you would agree. He a man. He can do what he want. He got money. He can do what he want. Them kids ain't lacking for nothing. They not hungry. They not. Only thing they probably missing is some daddy time with Nick. But he a superstar. Yeah, he a superstar. He a man on the go. So he really ain't got time to be sharing with the kids, let alone the women. Right? So he probably could have picked the women on merits of what kind of woman they are and the standards they live by and what kind of mother they can be to his children. You know what I'm talking about? But the conversation is about You know,
Yeah.
and I'm not bashing Nick. Nick that nigga. Nick that dude. Right? Any dude who has the wherewithal to, you know what I mean, get this many babies, had this many chicks. Boosie, Country Wayne.
I mean, there's people out there doing
you know
it
what I mean?
that don't got the resources too, though. Oh, we got
that ain't
comments.
got no duckage, right? I just seen it.
We got
who got comments? We ain't reading them comments.
Sorry, guys. We on the screen we was talking.
We been going in.
Yeah, we couldn't see the comments.
We was going in, y'all.
Love who you want to love, fam.
Play the video.
To say you have to do it. No, but finish your point.
Nick seems very defensive.
We're gonna have to stop it right here, and then we're gonna have to.
Yeah, we're gonna come back
next week.
I agree, Flock.
Are you on?
He is swings.
Wait, where are you reading comments on?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
On YouTube. No, not open-ended. Answer the question, Nick. No, Quentin. Good question. Love who you want to love, fam. I just preference. And Quentin, you got a black girl. Be quiet.
There's nothing wrong with that. And that's nothing. Okay, he's married to a black woman. Why you can't have a different opinion? No, we're gonna come back to this. This video itself is like an hour long. Oh no, it's like 30 minutes. So maybe next week.
It's on 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, we can finish the rest of it. We start early. It's like 20 minutes.
We might get on early. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the comments did go off. Sorry guys, we couldn't even see that shit. But yeah. No,
shout out to Q. Shout out to Tim. Appreciate y'all.
We're gonna come back to this next week. We gotta go now. But yeah, if you like the video, like, share, subscribe. Maybe we'll do more topics like this.
Yeah, do that.
Fucking with it.
Frank over there picking a side. Other side.
It's not a side, bro. I'm not. I promise. This is the thing. This is another thing about me too. Like I can't be boxed in. You know what I'm saying?
What's up?
When people try to box you into a certain, I can't be boxed in. I promise you, I can piss you off today, and I can say something you agree with tomorrow. But I'm not gonna be the type. Like I'm.
But
me,
listen,
you know what I'm saying?
You gotta remember this. You can't pick a side standing on the fence, dog.
And what I say,
you gotta pick a side somewhere. You can't always be friendly to everybody. That's opening the door for all the enemies. Because one day they're gonna get you. You know what I'm talking about?
And what do I say to that?
You gotta pick a side, Frank.
You don't gotta pick a side.
You said some dumb shit like you could be in a whole nother neighborhood.
That's not dumb. That's actually really really genius. You don't have to be on that. You don't have to be in that neighborhood where they got fences. You could be in a whole nother neighborhood. You could be in another city. You could be in another country. You could be on another planet. That's how I look at it. All right, so yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we still snap. We all right.
We about to go.
Come back next week for sure.
Facts.
We got Rumble to do.